5, chapter 17, text 20. Asadrishoya pratibhati mayaya Shibheva matva asavatamralojana Nagavadvorhanai shirehriya Yat padayo sparshana dasitendriya Asadrisha. For one who is polluted with polluted vision, for a person with polluted vision, yaha, who, pratibhati, appears, mayaya, the influence of maya, shibaha, one who is inebriated or angry, iva, like madhu, by honey, asava, and liquor, tamralochana, having eyes reddish like copper, na, not, nagavatvaha, the wives of the serpent demon, arhane, in worshipping, ishire, who are unable to proceed, riya, because of bashfulness, yat padayoho, of whose lotus feet, sparshana, by the touching, darsita, agitated, indriyaha, whose senses. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. For persons with impure vision, the Supreme Lord eyes appear like those of someone who indiscriminately drinks intoxicating beverages. Thus bewildered, such unintelligent person become angry at the Supreme Lord, and due to their angry mood, the Lord himself appears angry and very fearful. However, this is an illusion. When the wives of the serpent demon were agitated by the touch of the Lord's lotus feet, due to shyness, they could proceed no further in their worship of Him. Yet the Lord remained unagitated by their touch, for He is equipoised in all circumstances. Therefore, who will not worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead? For a person with impure vision, the Supreme Lord's eyes appear like those of someone who indiscriminately drinks intoxicating beverages. Thus bewildered, such unintelligent persons become angry at the Supreme Lord. And due to their angry mood of the Lord, Himself appears angry and very fearful. However, this is an illusion. And the wives of the serpent demon were agitated by the touch of the Lord's lotus feet. Due to shyness, they could proceed no further in their worship of Him. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan. Yet the Lord remained unagitated by their touch, for He is equipoised in all circumstances. Therefore, who will not worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Purport. Anyone who remains unagitated even in the presence of cause for agitation is called dhira or equipoise. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, being always in transcendental position, is never agitated by anything. Therefore, someone who wants to become dhira must take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita 2.13, Krishna says, Dhiras tatra nahuyati. A person who is equipoised in all circumstances is never bewildered. Prahlad Maharaj is a perfect example of dhira. When the fierce form of Narasimhadev appeared in order to kill Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad was unagitated. He remained calm and quiet, whereas others, including Lord Brahma, were frightened by the features of the Lord. Mama Jnana Timrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Japitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Dadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Jagradatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सागरललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कन्द राधाकन्द नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, thank you for attending the Srimad Bhagavatam class. So it's a very beautiful verse today. Even yesterday's verse was very beautiful, and very instructive. Prabhu was giving the explanation about the supremacy of the Lord and how, and he also gave the comparison to the demons and why they are not attracted to the Lord and what happens to the demons. So today also we are seeing, of course, we are now in the 5th canto, 17th chapter. This is talking about sthana, the universal position, planetary positions of all the living entities, and also the various planetary systems is covered in the 5th canto. After looking at the lineage of Maharaj Priyavrata. So here we are seeing this verse. It says that for a person with there's two parts to this verse, so we will try to cover both. For the person with impure vision, the Supreme Lord's eyes appear like those of someone who indiscriminately drinks intoxicating beverages. Thus bewildered, such unintelligent persons become angry at the Supreme Lord due to their angry mood. The Lord himself appears angry and very fearful. However, this is an illusion. So, and of course, the example was given of the wives, the Naga Patnis of Kaliya. So, in this verse, it says that this is talking about materialistic people. We know people who worship the Lord. They go to the temple. Or also people who don't worship the Lord. But anything goes wrong in their life, any problem happens, the first person they will blame is because of God I'm suffering. So recently also there was a question asked to me regarding this. Like, I'm a good person, I'm doing many nice things, I do a lot of charity work, but why the Lord is so cruel to me and making me suffer? Many times we think like that. There is never a time where we think that we are at the fault, right? If you look at our lives, it is said, there's a nice saying. It says that when it's our mistake, we become a lawyer. Right. When we do any mistake, we become like a lawyer. When it's other people's mistake, we become like a judge. Right? We judge others, and we are always blaming others for their, any faults they may have. Even though some people may have no faults, like Daksha. Lord Shiva was so pure devotee of the Lord. He was faultless. In fact, the word Dhira is used in this verse. The word Dhira is also given to Lord Shiva. In one of the lectures, Srila Prabhupada mentioned, where Lord Shiva, after losing his wife, he went into meditation. Of course, who is meditating on? He's meditating on Vishnu. Right? Sri Rama Rama Rameti, Rame Rame Manorame. Sahasrama Tatulyam Ramanama Vararane. That is the verse he spoke. He's always meditating on the lotus feet of Ram. So in that meditation, the demigods were thinking that now they became very weak. So what to do, right? What can be done now? I'm not sure who, but somebody gave them. Is it Vishnu who gave them the recommendation that you need to produce a powerful child from Shiva? So the idea was a powerful demigod has to be produced, who is Skanda, right? So by this time, Lord Shiva's wife Sati had taken rebirth as Parvati. She was born to the Himavan, the deity of the mountain Himalayas. And then they told her, you go and agitate him. He's in meditation, you go and agitate him and try to get him out of that meditation so that a child will be produced. But even when she went there, he was not agitated at all by her beauty. And Parvati is one of the most extremely beautiful, she is the external potency of the Lord. So she couldn't agitate him. So Prabhupada said in the lecture that this is called Dhira. I think Prabhupada was quoting Kalidas the poet. Yeah, so Kalidas was writing this Kumara Sambhava. Right? Oh yeah. So yeah. So yeah. Reminded. So the Prabhupada also mentioned that she also tried to touch his genitals, and he was not agitated. So Prabhupada said, this is Dhira. Even when there is a cause for agitation, there is no agitation in this personality, Lord Shiva. But you know why? Yeah, the power of being Dhira comes because of his Ananya Bhakti, unbroken meditation on the Supreme Lord. That is how he gets the power. This is what people fail to understand, where he got the power. So anyway, we are talking here of people who are blaming the Supreme Lord for their problems, for their difficulties. But the problems all begin because of our problem, our mistake. If you go to this verse, I just have press F2, right? Okay. This is in the 12th canto. Purushanugrhitanam edesham vasana maya vishargoyam samharo bijam characharam. The secondary creation which exists by the mercy of the Lord is the manifest amalgamation of the desires of the living entities. Just as a seed produces additional seeds, activities that promote material desires in the performer produce moving and non-moving life forms. So, what this verse is trying to say is, the creation that we are in now is, many people ask this question, right? Where is it stated that because we desired, Kṛṣṇa created this material world for our enjoyment, right? I think I remember in one of Tattvik Prabhu's class, there was one comment like that. Somebody wrote that Prabhupada only tells that the Lord manifested this material world for our enjoyment. Where is it stated? Yeah. So 3:21-22 is there. So this is another verse also. So somebody was writing like that. So all our, because the desire, this illicit desire of the living entity to enjoy this material world, the Lord creates, right? So if you see, some explanation is given here. Just as the seed grows to a tree that produces thousands of new seeds, material desires develops into fruitive activity that stimulates thousands of new desires within the heart of the conditioned soul. This is how our life is going. Now in this life, whatever that we desired previously, we have gotten this body, right? This existence. And while in this existence itself, we are thinking, oh, if only I was like Lionel Messi. We create new desires now. So the super soul in the heart, he's always sitting there trying to fulfill unlimited desires. We are going through life after life after life trying to fulfill these desires. This is exactly what happened to Saubhari Rishi. Saubhari Muni, he was meditating under the water, and because of offending Garuda, he fell down. And he saw the sex life. He was a Dhira in the beginning, right? He was completely control of his senses. So much control that he gave up everything, went underwater to meditate. And his meditation got broken by seeing two fish having sex life. Two fishes. He got agitated. So why that agitation came? Because again, due to offense, Vaishnava Aparat. Right? When Garuda came to eat the fishes there, he was trying to protect the fish. He said, he cursed Garuda that you cannot come here. So Garuda left. But Garuda is a pure devotee. How you can curse a pure devotee? And you know what? After cursing Garuda, Kaliya serpent came now. He was trying to protect the fish. When Kaliya came, all the fish also died. So when we think that we are knowing, we want to do good by our own mind and our limited intelligence, this is what will happen. We should do good based on sadhu, sastra, guru. What is based on what is guru saying, what is sadhu saying, what is scripture saying, that is how we should do good. So anyway, continuing the story, Saubari Rishi fell down. He came out, he went to meet the king Mandata. Mandata is the king who comes in the line, who is coming in the parampara of Ikshvaku Vamsha. Lord Ram is coming in the dynasty. And Mandata had 50 daughters, right? And somehow he showed his mystic potency and he married all those 50 daughters. And now he's a householder with 50 wives and unlimited desires. He was telling, in Vishnu Puran is that he was telling that now, okay, I have desires fulfilled. I have 50 wives. I have so many children. Now there's unlimited desires. Thinking what I will do for my children now. What about the grandchildren? Like that. His desires was going on and on and on, unlimited. Then he got so frustrated because he had some practice of yoga, right? Before he gave it up. He said, "I'm leaving everything." So finally, he got back to the correct process. Then he said in the Bhagavatam that he went back to Godhead with his wife because he again came back to the process of bhakti. So this is the power of bhakti yoga, right? Even though maybe there's no loss, neha abhikramo nasasti pratyavayana vidyate. So alpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhaya. It protects you from the greatest danger, right? So if we see here, this desires is why we are here. The world Purushanughritanam indicates that by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, one is allowed to desire and act in this world. So the Lord's mercy is to create this material world for your enjoyment. You see? And when we go through difficulties in our enjoyment, the Bhagavad Gita, you see, Icha dvesha shamutrena danda mohena bharata sarva bhutani samoham sarge yanti parantapa. O Sion of Bharata, the conqueror of the foe. All living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arisen by desire and hate. So this is what's happening. Due to desire and hate, we are suffering in this material world. And what we are doing? We created the problem for ourselves. And what we do, we blame the Lord. So Prabhupada gave an example. Let's say I commit a crime and then I'm sentenced to 25 years jail, let's say. And you know what I tell everyone? Because of the judge, I'm suffering. It's the judge's fault. Yes, the judge is giving you the sentence of your mistakes, right? He looks like the immediate cause of your suffering. But you are the actually primary cause of your suffering. Yeah? So the Lord is completely merciful that even though we have wrongly desired and descended into this material world, we are covered by this thing called avidya. If you go to this verse, the O most intelligent Uddhava, the living entity called Jiva is part and parcel of me, but due to ignorance, he has been suffering in material bondage since time immemorial. By knowledge, however, he can be liberated. So this is how we are. So we engage in foolish acts and we blame the Lord for this, So you can see another verse also. This verse. People in general engage in foolish acts. not in the really beneficial activities enunciated directly by you for their guidance. As long as the tendency for foolish work remains powerful, all their plans in struggle for existence will be cut into pieces. Cut to pieces. I therefore offer my obeisances unto you, who acts as eternal time. I think yesterday you shared this verse, right, Mother? The eternal time. Yeah. So the Lord acting as time is bringing about all this. But the cause of our problem is our own self, our own mind. As the Avanti Brahmana says, right? What is it? Nayam janome sukha dukkha hetur samsara what? Na devatatma griha karma kala samsara chakram mana param karanam amananti samsara chakram parivartaye yat. So our Avanti Brahmana is saying, what is the problem? Right? Nayam janome sukha dukkha hetur. I am thinking that these people are the cause of my problem, happiness and distress. These my relatives, my friends, they are the cause of my happiness and distress. I'm thinking that Nayam janome sukha dukkha hetur. Na devatatma griha karma kala. I think that the devatas are the cause of my problem. Right? I think that other living entities are cause of my problem. Griha, what is it? Griha? Graha. The planets are the cause of my problem. Many people say astrology, right? Oh, because of Sunny, now I'm going through Sadhe Sati. This is the cause of my problem. Karma, because of my karma, I'm suffering. Kala, because of time, I'm suffering. So all these excuses, reasons we are giving for our suffering. But Avanti Brahmana says, Mana paranam karanam amananti. What is that verse? 11? Let's go to the verse. 11, 23, 42. Mana para karanam amananti. He said the mind alone is the problem. Samsara chakram parivartayat. Because of this mind, we are revolving in this samsara chakra. Sometimes we are demigod, sometimes we are demon, sometimes we are animals, sometimes human being. So due to these unlimited desires, due to avidya, ignorance, so the Brahmana said, these people are not the cause of my happiness and distress, neither the demigods, my own body, the planets, my past work or time. Rather, it's the mind alone that causes happiness and distress and perpetuates the rotation of material life. So you see how this is called, what is called? This is called Dhira. Because Dhira can understand the situation, what is happening. He understands that all this external thing that is happening, it is not the real problem. The problem is within my mind. This is called Dhira. Whereas an Adhira, they will start to blame the Lord. They say, see, the Lord is so angry. The Lord is punishing me. Right? Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, there are 4 kinds of people who approach the Lord. So who are these 4 kinds of people who approach the Lord? Of course, Bhagavad Gita, we have a verse, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, the one who is approaching the Lord out of fear, bhaya. The one who is approaching the Lord out of asa, desire. I want to approach the Lord for some desire. The one who approaches the Lord for doing duty bound. And the one who comes out of love. These 4 people are there. So the one who is fearful is the first category, the lowest category. They come to temple, they worship. If you tell them, okay, let's say we preach to someone about Kṛṣṇa, we show the Bhagavad Gita, we show so many verses, and we say, please do not worship the devatas. It's not necessary. Remember you experienced telling this to people, right? And you know what they will say? No, but I am afraid. How will, if I offend, if I take out the picture from the altar, if I take out my Sai Baba picture, what will happen? I will lose my blessings. I will lose my wealth. So this is motivated out of fear. So such people, they are not going to understand the Lord. Because they are thinking, if anything I do, oh, the Lord is angry with me, He's punishing me. These are the people that today's verse talking about, out of fear. Then higher than that is someone who comes to the Lord to fulfill a desire. So Krishna also says, right, whatever it is, you approach me. Akama sarva kama va moksha kama udharati. Trivena bhakti yogena yatate purusham param. Whether you got desire or no desire, you worship me alone. So some people are like that. They come just to ask the Lord for that material opulence, power, or whatever. Higher than that is someone who's doing it out of duty. So duty means I am appreciating the Lord. Prabhupada has given me Krishna consciousness. The devotees have guided me in Krishna consciousness, I have appreciation for them. So I become duty bound. Like I need to chant my rounds. I need to do seva because I feel obligated. You know, sometimes we may do duty for the parents, right? It may not be out of love, but because we know that our parents take care of us, we want to do that duty. But the highest level is out of love, and that is the pure devotees. For them, Krishna, the connection with Krishna is completely pure love, right? They will do anything for Krishna. The gopis, the cowherd boys, the Vrajavasis especially, right? So this is how we can understand what is adira and adira. So if we see another verse also, we can understand why we are suffering in this material world. Let's see this here. For pramatam uchcheriti kritya chintya pravritta lobham vishayeshu lalasam tvam apramata sahasa vipadyase shulilano hir ivakum atankaha. My dear Lord, all living entities within this material world are mad after planning for things. Right? So this is what we are doing, planning day and night, how to enjoy ourselves, how to fulfill our desires. And they're always busy with the desire to do this or that. This is due to uncontrollable greed. The greed for material enjoyment is always existing in the living entity, but your lordship is always alert, and in due course of time, you strike him just as the snake seizes a mouse and very easily swallows it. This is spoken by Lord Shiva. So when the Lord acts like a snake and seizes, then we blame him. But whatever he's doing is for our ultimate benefit, we don't know. If the Lord takes away some material enjoyment away from us, we must know that we are being blessed by the mercy of the Lord. You know, of course, in the 10 canto is there, no? 1088.8. So when the Lord mercy is there, this will happen. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Yashyaham Anugranami Harishe Tathanam Sane Tathodhanam Tyadanti Yasya Swajana Dukkha Dukkhitam. Personally, God has said, if I especially favor someone, I gradually deprive him of his wealth. And then the relatives and friends of such a poverty-stricken man abandon him. In this way, he suffers one distress from another. So you see, so a pure devotee is dhira because he can see the mercy of the Lord beyond all this. Tattenu kampa su samikshamana. You know, su samikshanam. You go to this verse, very famous verse by Lord Brahma. Tattenu kampa su samikshamano bhunjana evadmakritam vipakam hritvakvapubhir vidadan namaste jivetayo mukti pade sadhayavak. So tatte anukampa su samikshamano. Samiksha means to analyze. You know, when something goes through in our life, you know what we do? Some difficulties happen to us. Let's say we lost a job, we lost our money, we lost our spouse. Then we start to analyze what is actually happening. You know, and when we analyze with our material vision, with our mind, intelligence and false ego, we will start analyzing and thinking that it's not my fault, it's their fault. You understand? So this is called adira. A person who's adira will not be able to analyze in the correct way. But the person who is dhira, a devotee, he analyzes, you know, tattenu kampa su samikshamana bunjana evatma kritam vipakam. He analyzed that whatever misery is happening in my life is actually the mercy of the Lord. And what he does, ritvag vapubhir vidadan namaste. He offers obeisances with his mind, body and words. My Lord, I sincerely surrender unto you. Jivetayo mukti pada sadaya bhak. So what happens? He is eligible for liberation. So you see this translation. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him and all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering your respectful obeisances with his heart, words and body is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. So pure devotee, I mean not even a pure devotee, a proper devotee, even in the Madhyama stage, he can analyze like that. You can analyze all his difficulties, like how the Amanti Brahmana was doing. He said, it's not the people, the devatas, the graha, that is not the problem. Problem in my mind. Right? So this is again what you call as dhira. So we need to understand how to attain this platform. It is only possible in connection with the Lord. So one more thing I want to share about this topic. We can go to the Bhagavad Gita in the purport of 5:15. If you see this verse 5:15 in the purport, Prabhupada is quoting the Vedanta Sutra. So now this is the Vedic hymn, right? This is, I think, from Vedanta Sutra. It says that the Lord engages the living entity in pious activity so he may be elevated. The Lord engages him in pious activity so he may go to hell. So this is from the Kaushitaki Upanishad. So what does it mean? If you read this verse, it sounds like the Lord himself is making us suffer, right? Then also is there in Mahabharata, Vanaparva, Prabhupada is quoting, Ajano jantur anishoyam atmana sukha dukkayo ishvara prerito gachat swargam vasva abhram evacha. The living entity is completely dependent in his distress and happiness. By the will of the Supreme, he can go to heaven or hell, as cloud is driven by the air. So it seems here that the Lord is actually to be blamed. But actually the Lord is, and then it goes down, in other words, Prabhupada is quoting here. Vaishramya nairighriyane na spekshatvat tatahi darshyati. The Lord neither hates, the very important point, the Lord neither hates nor likes anyone, though he appears to. It looks like that. Today's verse is saying, it looks like he's angry, but he's not. It is another verse in Vedanta Sutra says that he is called Prajanyavad. Prajanyavad means he's equal to all. He's all merciful. And the Lord is compared to the rain. When the rain is raining, right? Is the rain impartial? Does the rain say, today I will rain on this area, I will not rain in this area? It rains everywhere, right? Okay, let's say if you have a land. You have a land, I have a land. In my land, I planted the seed. Let's say I planted, what is a very bad plant? Raffles flower. Rafflesia. Is it bad? Okay, there's a plant, Sri Prabhu saying there's a plant called Rafflesia, which is native to Singapore. It is very smelly. Let's say I planted the Rafflesia seed in my land. And let's say he planted the mango seed in his land. Now the rain comes. The rain is equal to both lands, right? When the tree grows, I get the Rafflesia plant, and then it will be stinking everywhere. He'll get the mango, which will be so sweet. So whose fault is it? Is the Lord is equal, right? Samoham sarva bhuteshu, right? Is equal to all. But it's our karma, it's our seed, our desire that we plant that causes this illusion. It looks like an illusion that Lord is home. Because of the Lord, because of the rain, I'm getting this, let's say, neem plant. I'm getting neem plant. But who planted the seed? It's you. Correct? So this illusion is not seen by one who is dhira. One who's adhira, he sees that, is the problem of the Lord. So we just go back to the verse again, just to recap. So we have covered this part about it looks like, he is the one punishing. Actually, no, he is not. Right? Huh? I was going to go there. So I will come to that verse. So now let's go to the second part. Okay. However, this illusion. Okay. When the wives so now the example is given here. When the wives of the serpent demon were agitated by the touch of the Lord's lotus feet due to shyness, they could proceed no further in their worship of him. Yet the Lord remained unagitated by their touch, for he is equipoised in all circumstances. Therefore, who will not worship the Lord? So we were talking about dhira, adhira, giving examples. So we must understand, okay, from this example we can see he's completely Dhira, right? Even Bhishmadev gave an example in the Rajasuya sacrifice when Shishupal was cursing Krishna. Shishupal was hurling so many harsh words. The Lord was completely calm, not affected. Of course, he had a condition: 100 times, then I'll finish you. He promised his mother, right? So that time Bhishmadev was praising the Lord, and Bhishmadev said that, my Lord, when you are in the Rasalila with so many beautiful ladies, you are not agitated at all. But if you put me in that same situation, I will be agitated. You see? So for we cannot imitate the Lord. Actually, only one person in the universe can stop this law of lust. 331, 37. Tat Shrishta Shrishta Shreshtu. That is the one, right? Ko now Akandita Dhipuman Rishim Narayanam Rite Yoshin Mayaya. Among all kinds of living entities begotten by Brahma, namely men, demigods, and animals, none but the sage Narayana is immune to the attraction of Maya in the form of human. Only Narayana. Narayan also is not. Nara is not mentioned. Nara is Arjuna. The Narayan is Krishna. Both of them descended as, different avatar. So this Narayana is completely untouched by Maya. Yesterday Prabhu covered so many verses on that. How Krishna is not touched by Maya at all. I know all of you all took notes, right? We all took notes on the verses. So Harir Nirguna Saksha 10:88:5. Maya cannot touch Krishna because he's beyond. Just like the sun cannot be touched by the clouds. It looks like the clouds is covering the sun, but to us it looks like cloud is covering the sun, right? It looks like Krishna is in Maya now. He's playing with gopis. Just like when you see the clouds covering the sun, but the sun can never be covered by the clouds. That is Krishna. So again, this verse confirms that he cannot be touched by Maya. Only Narayana. That's why we are saying, Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam. You're glorifying the Lord. Right? Tato Jayam Udirayet. Jay, right? So this is the power of the Lord. He cannot be touched by Maya. And one who follows in his footsteps, that person also cannot be touched by Maya. That 1:11:38, right? 37, 36. Okay. Although the queen's beautiful smiles and furtive glances were all spotless and exciting, and although they could conquer Cupid himself by making him give up his bow in frustration, although even the tolerant Shiva could fall victim to them, still, despite of their magical feats, the attraction, they could not agitate the senses of the Lord. So this is a very apt verse. So even Lord Shiva, it said that he got angry. He couldn't control his anger. When the Apsara, who's the Apsara? There was Apsara sent to agitate him. No, Kamadev, sorry. Kamadev came to agitate the Lord Shiva. He sent his girls. And he got angry. He burnt him. So Kamadev became completely burnt. He had no more limbs. What is that? Ananga is called also. He has no more limbs. So he took birth as Pradyumna next. So, but Krishna, when they came to agitate, Indra came to agitate Narayan Rishi. Indra thought that Narayan Rishi is after the heavenly planets now. So Indra always have this illusion, thinking everybody is after his position. So he came there, and then he brought all the Apsaras to charm Narayan Rishi. And Narayan Rishi thought, what is this Apsara? What is the beauty of this? I think he touched his thigh, and from his thigh came the Urvasi, who was more beautiful than all the Apsaras Indra had. And he said, you take her. That is the power of Krishna. See? He is not conquered by, he's untouched by this. So if we see the next verse. Tam ayam manyate loko hi asangam api sanginam Atmanupam yena manujam vyaprinavanam yato bhutah. The common materialistic conditioned souls speculate that the Lord is one of them, but out of their ignorance, they think that the Lord is affected by matter, although He is unattached. So, Lord is unattached to this matter. In fact, it is said that He does not interact with this matter, Maya, material energy, directly. He manifests Himself as Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is an avatar of Guna avatar. He is actually avatar of Krishna to interact with the material nature. So so that's why even Lord Shiva, even though they say he's supreme, he cannot be because he's interacting with material nature, right? So in the next verse, एततिशनम् ईशस्य प्रकृतिस्तोऽपि तद्गुणै न युज्यते सदात्मस्तेर् यथा बुद्धिस्तदाश्रया. This is the divinity of the personality of God. He is not affected by the qualities of material nature, even though he is in contact with them. Similarly, the devotees who have taken shelter of the Lord do not become influenced by the material qualities. Right? So, material qualities do not affect the Lord, and because the devotees are empowered by the Lord, they are also not affected. Right? This is a very important point. If you go to this verse also, Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai Yadadetatchidatmakam Purushaya Dibijaya Pareshaya Didhimai. Spoken by Gajendra, the first prayer that he says. O King, the King of Elephant Gajendra said, I offer my respectful obeisances to the personal Supreme Person Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Because of him, this material body acts due to the presence of spirit, and he is therefore the root cause of everyone. He is worshipable by such exalted person as Brahma and Shiva, and he is entered the heart of every living being. Let me meditate upon him. So in the Prabhupada is giving the answer, what is Etak Chidadmakam? He says, in this verse, the words Etak Chidadmakam are very important. The material body consists only of material elements. But when one awakens Krishna conscious understanding, the body is no longer material but spiritual. So when one becomes a devotee, he starts taking up the spiritual process. The body is being spiritualized. Just like Prabhupada gave the example of the iron rod becoming in touch with fire, it becomes same like fire. Because in touch with the Lord, in touch with the process, the most powerful process called Bhakti Yoga, all his material desires goes away. All the lust, anger, greed, all this goes away. His ahankar becomes purified. He becomes, the false ego becomes real ego now. Then what happens? That material body is now no more material body. The material body is meant for sense enjoyment, whereas the spiritual body engages in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Therefore, a devotee who engages in the service of the Supreme Lord and who constantly think of him should never be considered to have a material body. This is therefore enjoined Guru Shu Naramati. Spiritual master is like that. You should never think that spiritual master is an ordinary man having material body, even though he may appear in this material body, but is completely spiritualized. Similarly, Arche Vishnu Siladi, the deity also non-different from the Lord, even though it is made of material ingredients, completely spiritualized, because the Lord is manifest in the deity. So this is how a person becomes Dhira, by being in touch with the Lord. And then if you go back to the verse, so it says that he is equipoised in all circumstances, therefore who will not worship? And in the Prabhupada actually gives the example of this person. There's many persons like that. One of them is Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj example is always given regarding so many. He's actually the Acharya of excuse me, Smaranam. Prahlade Smaranam. When you talk about Smaranam, remembering the Lord 24/7, that is Prahlad. If you go to the another verse here, No, not this verse. एतावानेव लोकेऽस्मिन् पुंसं पुंसः स्वार्थपरा स्मृता एकन्तभक्तिर्गोविन्दे यत् सर्वत्र तदीक्षणम्. In this material world, to render service to the lotus feet of Govinda, the cause of all causes, and to see him everywhere is the only goal of life. This much alone is the ultimate goal of human life, as explained by the revealed scriptures. So Prahlad's life is like that. His only goal, Ekanta Bhakti Govinda. Bhakti to Govinda is the only goal of his life. Then, because of that situation, he was never affected by the torture of his father. He is not affected at all. That is complete dhira. In the purport also a very beautiful verse quoted here. Yes, Prabhupada quoted this verse. Narayana Maya Dhira. See the word dhira? Completely is dhira. Pashyanti Paramatinaha Jagat Danamaya Lubdaha Kamuka Kamini Mayam. A devotee sees everyone and everything in relationship with Narayana. Narayana Mayam. Everything is an expansion of Narayana's energy. Just as those who are greedy see everything as a source of money making, and those who are lusty see everything being conducive to sex. The most perfect devotee, Prahlad Maharaj, saw Narayana even within the stone column. See? So one who is very Kamuka, Kamini Mayam, one who is very lusty, sees everything as an avenue to express their lusty desires. Every walking woman out there is a target for them. Right? One who is into money making, business, always they're looking at opportunity how to make money. Everything looks like a business opportunity for them. Every conversation they are thinking how to make this person my partnership and whatever. But for a devotee who is Narayana Mayam, Prahlad Maharaj, right? Narayana Mayam Dhira. He sees the Lord everywhere. He even saw the Lord within the stone column. In fact, actually, excuse me, there's a Sri Vaishnava Acharya Vedanta Desika. He told something very interesting about Prahlad Maharaj in one of his writings. He said when Prahlad Maharaj saw, of course, the Acharyas, they write in a poetic way. There was a conversation. So he's like a writing, like a poem. So one devotee was asking Prahlad, how did you go through all this suffering? How did you survive these sufferings, right? Of this material, of your father's punishment. You know what Prahlad Maharaj said? He said, where was I suffering? Because now, let's say if you throw me into the fire, right? What is this fire? This fire is yagya. This yagya is the tongue of my Lord Vishnu. So how am I suffering? Understand? He was seeing the Lord in that way. And then he said, how did I survive the snakes? Right? Who are these snakes? The master of all these snakes is Anantasesh, the brother, the servant of my Lord. Why would the snakes harm me? Correct? Then he said, what about the poison? They were giving you poison, the cup. What about the poison? How can the poison harm me? Because when the churning of the milk ocean happened, poison came, right? After poison came, who came? My mother, Lakshmi Devi came. Right? So Lakshmi Devi came and poison came. Both are brothers and sisters, right? How will my uncle hurt me now? So I have not heard anything. So you can understand, Narayana Mayam Dira, even in that punishment you are seeing Narayana. He was not harmed. Completely not harmed. This is Dira. Understand? So this is a commentary. So this is how we can understand that one who becomes connected to the Lord becomes equally Dira. And let's see if there's anything else to... So I'll give a solution. Now let's go to the starting part of the verse. I was telling that how people were angry with the Lord is punishing them. I started the class with someone saying that I'm doing bhakti. How come the Lord is punishing? How come I'm suffering? So what is the solution for that? Is if you go to this verse, 11, 14, 18. Yes. Badyamanopi bhakto vishaye ajitendriyah praya pragalbhya bhaktya vishaye na vibhutayet. So pragalbhya, remember this word, pragalbhya bhaktya. What does it mean? Pragalbhya means effective and strong, bhaktya, devotion. So my dear Uddhava, if my devotee has not fully conquered his senses, he may be harassed by material desires, but because of his unflinching, this is called unflinching devotion, pragalbhya bhaktya, for me, he will not be defeated by sense gratification. So what we should do? If somebody is telling us like that, I'm suffering, I'm doing bhakti, I'm suffering. But if you are suffering, but you are still having unflinching devotion for the Lord, that is called pragalbhya bhaktya. If you have that kind of faith, bhakti, even though I'm suffering, that bhakti will not let go of me. Bhakti Devi will not give me up if I don't give her up. If I have that kind of faith in the bhakti process, no matter how much I suffer, I will not fall down. Understand? So example, I was giving the example. Now you're going in the boat, you're going in the ship. The ship is, the waves are pushing the ship left, right, right? It, sometimes the huge waves will come and try to bring the ship down. Correct? So imagine that is difficulties we are facing in the process of bhakti. And if somebody says, now I want to give up bhakti, I will jump down from the ship, what is going to happen to you if you jump down? Better you stay in the ship, even though it's shaking like that, you be unflinchingly faithful to the spiritual master or the captain of the ship, the favorable winds which are the scriptures, and you go forward in your journey and attain Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan. Go towards the goal of Krishna Prem. If you can keep on to that faith, this faith is so important. This is called Pragalbhya Bhaktya. You have to have so much faith in the process of bhakti. And you cannot have the faith in bhakti, the Shraddha cannot come without Satam Prashangam Mama Virya Samvida. Without hearing about the, we'll go to the verse. Satam Prashanga Mama Virya Samvido Bhavanti Hritkarana Rasayana Kata Tajoshanadashu Apavarga Vartmani Shraddha Raktir Bhaktir Anukramishati. See, in the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter he is freed and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begins. So you see the word here, Shraddha, Ratir, Bhaktir, Anukramishati. First step is Shraddha, faith. You have to have faith. And how faith comes? Satam Prashanga Mama Virya Samvido. By hearing the Virya Samvido, the heroic pastimes of the Lord, the powerful pastimes of the Lord. That powerful pastime of the Lord, Shrutva Granan Bhuvana Sundara Srinvatamte. Right? It enters through the ear. Rukmini Devi says, Shrutva Gunan Bhuvana Sundara Srinvatamte Nirvishya Karana Visharege Haratonga Tapam. When it goes inside the ears and it goes inside the heart, Nirvishya Karane Haratonga Tapam. The tapa, the miseries we are experiencing through the heart, in the heart, the material miseries will be uprooted. All the sinful activities will be destroyed. Rupam Drisham Drishimatam Akilartha Labham. The Lord has a beautiful form. Rupam Drisham Drishimatam Akilartha Labham. And the goal of the eyes, the only purpose of the eyes is to behold this beautiful form of the Lord. Toyi me achyuta vishati chitram apatrapame. Rukmini Devi says, my Lord, I give up everything. Toyi me achyuta. I shamelessly surrender my mind onto your lotus feet. How did Rukmini surrender? Because Shrutva Granan Bhuvana Sundara Srinvatamte. She heard the Satam Prashangam Mama Virya Samvido. She heard the heroic pastimes of the Lord. By hearing the heroic pastime, the beautiful form of the Lord, by seeing the form of the Lord, by hearing about the form of the Lord, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, these are all Krishna Katha. Hearing about Krishna's Nama, hearing about Krishna's Leela, hearing about Krishna's Gunas, qualities, hearing about Krishna, Rupa, form, our heart becomes completely purified. And when it becomes purified, the Shraddha in Bhakti becomes stronger. And that Shraddha becomes Rati, attraction. And eventually that Rati becomes Bhakti, which is Prema, love. This is what very important steps. How to become Dhira? We have to keep hearing the heroic activities, the Dhira activities of the Lord, the Dhira activities of the devotees. By continuous hearing only is possible. If not, we cannot make it. How the faith in bhakti will come? Anytime problems happen, we will give it up. If you give up so easily, then bhakti also will, they say there are no loss, no loss. But how long you want to carry on the going to heaven, coming back as devotee again? How long you want to do this? Right? So we need to have this strong desire to hear about the activities of the Lord. This culture should be there. It is said here, what is it? Rati means attraction. You get attracted. So he says here, see in this verse, the Prabhupada is Bhavesmin Klishamananam Avidya Kama Karmadhis Shavanam Smaranarhani Karishyam Iti Kechanaha. And yet others say that you appeared, this is Kunti Devi, in order to renovate the devotional service of hearing, remembering, worshipping, and so on, in order that the conditioned soul suffering from material pangs might take advantage and gain liberation. So the Lord is coming here to the material world. The today verse looks like he's angry. No, he's actually very merciful. There's no one more merciful than the Lord. So the Lord comes to renovate. Now, let's say, imagine your whole house is not renovated, how it looks like. Right? So he comes to renovate this devotional service. And how this renovation process starts? By hearing. Hearing leads to smaranam, remembering, then worshipping, and all the 9 limbs of bhakti. If we engage in these 9 limbs of bhakti, or you see this in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave 5 limbs of bhakti, right? Important limbs. There are 64 limbs. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, 64 limbs is given. Bhagavatam, 9 limbs is given. Hari Bhakti Vilas, thousands of limbs are given. So even if you just do these 5 limbs properly, it will get renovated. The faith in the Lord will get renovated. Then we will not see, even though a reversal may happen in our life, even a difficult situation may happen in our life, our vision will see this reversal as a blessing, as the mercy of the Lord. So this is the 10 what? 10:16:44. Oh. What you have done here is actually mercy for us, since the punishment you give to the wicked certainly drives away all their contamination. Indeed, because this conditioned soul, our husband, is so sinful that he has assumed the body of a serpent, your anger toward him is obviously to be understood as your mercy. So the wives of the Kaliya saying this. So they understand that the Lord's mercy, punishment is mercy. So even if you see, of course, this is another example, not directly connected, but like a devotee like Vasudev, the father of Krishna, right? When he was in that situation where Kamsa was trying to kill his wife, Devaki, completely calm. When something like that happened to us, we will go crazy, right? He was thinking all the steps, very dhira, very, very cool headed. He was dealing, okay, try this. He gave solution to Kamsa, do this, now do this, now this. So he was not getting overcome by the emotion so much. Because again, he's a devotee, pure devotee. So he's a pure devotee that Lord appeared in his family, right? So these are some examples of this dhira. And one more thing I wanted to share. I found some verses. If you go to the first canto also, we already went through that. We'll go to the same verse. There's no Vishambar Babu showed. The purport actually is quite nice. Right. Is it? Is it? Oh wait, no, no, sorry, I found another verse. One, what is it? 1:13:27 in the purport. There's a this 1:13 is what chapter? Vidura. So it says here that he is certainly a first class man who awakens and understands, either by himself or by hearing from others, the falsity and misery of this material world, and thus leaves home and depends fully on the personality of God residing within his heart. So in the purport gives there's three kinds of dhira. There are three classes of transcendentalists, namely the dhira, or one who is not disturbed by being away from family association, one in the renounced order of life, sannyasi, by frustrated sentiment, and the last one is a sincere devotee of the Lord who awakens God consciousness by hearing and chanting and leaves home depending completely on the personality of Godhead who resides in his heart. So this is the third platform we need to attain, dhira. So if you look at the first platform is one who is not disturbed by being away from family association. So there are many renunciants, jnana yogis, sannyasis who have renounced like that, right? Even Bharat Maharaj, he was not attached to family attachment. He left everything. He went to the forest. Second one is very interesting. There's a very interesting story. One in the renounced order of life, sannyasi by frustrated sentiment. So what happened? There's a person called. Of course, this person is not a devotee, but he wrote this. You might have heard when you learn Sanskrit. There's something called Subhashita. You heard that Subhashita? So Subhashita, like Rupa Goswami, he did a compilation, something called Padyavali. Padyavali is a compilation of all the devotees, pure devotees' prayers from all different sampradayas also. So Subhashita is a compilation by these Sanskrit scholars of various nice Sanskrit sayings. Sometimes they are very spiritual also, but we do not know the sources much. It's just a compilation of various sayings. So this person called Bhatri Hari, he wrote this thing called Subhashita. He was one of the people who wrote a lot of verses on Subhashita. He wrote a thing called Niti Shataka about Niti means the Niti Shastra. What is Dharma Shastra? So Niti Shataka. He wrote also this thing called Vairagya Sataka about renunciation. 100 verses on renunciation, and he wrote another one called what do you call it? Sringara Shataka. Sringara Shataka is about the beauty of his wife. So what happens? This king appeared 1,000 years ago. His name is Bhatri Hari in the north of India. Very, he was actually his father. His father was Brahmana. So the father was learning Vedas from his gurus and all, and he was not satisfied. So the father wanted to understand the Vedas even more. So he was going around searching for a guru who can teach him even more deeper. One day he came to a tree. He was sitting down under a tree. He was sleeping, and then suddenly the tree had a Brahma Raksha. Brahma Raksha came and saw this Brahmana. So the Brahma Raksha understood his desire that he wants to learn. So he woke him up. Then he got surprised. Who was this Brahma Raksha? He said, "You want to learn, right? I'll teach you the meaning of the Vedas in 6 months. You stay in this tree with me. No food, no water, nothing. I will give you power. You cannot sleep also. You don't need to sleep also. You will not feel hunger, thirst, everything. You sit in here." So he sat in the tree. With the 6 months, he learned everything very deeply from this Brahma Raksha. So he says Brahma Raksha also knows. So after that, the Brahma Raksha, because of preaching so much, he also got liberated. Yeah? He got liberated. Then he did the final rites for the Brahma Raksha and he started walking. Now he was going in the journey. Suddenly, the magic that he had was gone. He became super hungry, very thirsty. He was going to faint. What to do? He found a house somehow. There was a house. He was knocking the door. Nobody was answering. He fainted in front of the house. After that, one woman came. She apparently she's a prostitute. So she quickly saw him. She talked to her servants, brought him in, gave him food, nursed him to health. It took some time for him to revive his health. And then he wanted to leave. He said, "Okay, thank you for saving my life. I'm going." He said, "No, you must marry me." He said, "No, I can't marry you. I study so much just to get married for what? I want to go and preach. I want to teach." He said, "No, you better marry me." Then he was not listening. She went to the king and complained. This guy, I took care of him. He's not accepting my shelter. So she's a Sudra. He's Brahmana, right? So you know what the king says? The king got impressed by his intelligence now. King says, "You also marry my daughter." So the king says, "But a Brahmana cannot marry. The first wife she marries has to be a Brahmana. Second wife, Kshatriya. You know. Then Vaishya, Sudra. He cannot marry a Sudra directly." So like that, the minister came and said, "You also marry my daughter." And then one Vaishya came and said, "You also marry my daughter." Ended up, after learning so much, he ended up marrying 4 wives. One Brahmana, one Kshatriya, one Vaishya, one Sudra. And the last child called Bhatrihari was born to the Sudra wife, the prostitute. And apparently that Bhatrihari was most qualified among all of them. Most intelligent, most qualified. So then eventually what happens, the king passes away. The king told this father of Bhatrihari, "You become king." Suddenly from Brahmana learning Vedas so much, he became king now. Then eventually his time was there to leave. He appointed Bhatrihari to be the next king because he was most qualified. So now Bhatrihari became king. Very nice, very powerful, very intelligent, running the country. Right? So then he had a wife. I think the wife name is Pingala. Very, very beautiful wife. He was so enchanted by her, so attached to her. You know, so much of love he had for her. One day what happened? One rishi came to the kingdom and gave him a mango. Okay? And told this Bhatrihari that if you eat this mango, you will become youthful all your life. You will not get old at all. So Bhatrihari said, "Thank you very much." Then he started thinking, if I eat this, yes, I'll be youthful, but I love my wife so much, I should give it to her. Right? She should be the one who deserves this gift of me from me. Something is so dear to you, you give to someone. Like that, we should have the devotion for Krishna. What is the most dearest to us, you offer to the Lord. The 11th canto, right? One verse is there. So that much love he had, he said, my dear wife, you eat this, you'll be young forever. Take this. The wife said, "Thank you, husband, I love you." After that, what she did? She took that mango. She actually is in love with the guy who controls the horses. You know, the man who's in charge of the horseman. She loved that man. So she said, "I love you so much." She also thought, what is the use of me eating this? I should give to one I love. So she gave to him. He also thought, why I should eat this? I should give to someone I love. He gave to his wife. You know, so she was having an affair with this guy. That guy gave to his wife. The wife took it, and the wife was walking back home. Suddenly, Bhatrihari was entering the time. He saw the mango. He's like, "How come you have this mango? What is going on?" Then he started to investigate. He traced back. He found out that his wife don't love him. His wife is having an affair. Wife gave away the mango. And then he got so upset and depressed. Yeah. Then he was thinking what to do. Then somehow the wife told the horseman told the queen now. Then the queen was thinking, now what to do? My husband knows. Better I kill him. You see how this lady is. So she said to him, "My dear husband, I love you so much." She knows the husband knows. The husband is just sitting down. He's like so depressed. He don't know what to do now. He's very angry, but he's not saying anything. The food is getting ready. I know you're hungry. I have created some chapati for you. Look, it's like a chapati, like some cake. I don't know what you call that. There's some word was written there, ottapam or something. Some Malayalam word was there. Yeah. So this is something ottapam, something was written there. Whatever. This is from the Puranic encyclopedia. I read this. So she took this poison. She put poison in this thing and gave to him. Now, my dear husband, you're hungry. Before your meal is served, you eat this. So he understood. Now he's intelligent. My wife is going to kill me. She's trying to kill me. He took that. He said, "Thank you." He said, "I'll eat. No problem. You go." So he wrote something there. He said, because of this whole kingdom will burn down. He wrote it there. He left it in the ceiling. Some structure here, like the house ceiling like that. He left it there. He took sannyas now. He said, "I'm leaving everything." And then somehow after some time that thing was there, and then he got fire, and then it burned. The whole kingdom got burned down. So he left, and then he said that he came to the south. He was in the Chidambaram temple. And while sitting outside the temple, he became like a sannyasi beggar. He wrote all this, Niti Shataka, Sringara Shataka, what do you call it, Vairagya Shataka. 100 verses on Vairagya, which is very nice. I saw 1 or 2 verses. So there's one verse says, Bhogana Bhutya, Vayamevana Bhukta. What does that mean? He says that now you think you are consuming something, but actually you are being consumed. For example, We think we are consuming social media, right? I'm scrolling YouTube, I'm scrolling Instagram, but the app is consuming you. Your time is being consumed. You thinking you're eating that food. See, I don't know the Sanskrit, I don't remember now, but you think you're eating the food, but the food is actually eating you. You know, you're spending so much time, effort, cooking. How much time just gone like that? Going to supermarket, buying this. Whole day thinking of this food. All. That's why the Goswami don't want to waste time cooking also. They don't want to cook in fire. Anything I get in my hand, like milk like that, I'll just drink. Don't want to waste time cooking. So after that, you spend all the time eating that food. In the end, you die. You become that food only, right? See, so basically, he has many verses, 100 verses like that, about Vairagya. So of course, he's not a devotee; he's a jnani. So what happened was, this is regarding the second point. One, in the renounced order of life, a sannyasi by frustrated sentiment. So he left because of frustrated sentiment. And of course, he also wrote the Subhashita. Then a sincere, so the last point, this is the dhira that we want to achieve. A sincere devotee of the Lord who awakens God consciousness by hearing and chanting. This is what we want. We want to renounce by getting a higher taste. Because the taste of Krishna is so unlimited. The raso vaisaha. Krishna is raso vaisaha. You know, we go. In the Vedic language, it says, Raso Vaisaha, Rasam hi evayam labdvanandi bhavati. One who understands the personality of God as the reservoir of all pleasure, Krishna, he actually becomes transcendently blissful. This is from the Taittiriya Upanishad. So if you have this rasa can come from the Akhila Rasa Amrita Murti, Krishna. When the rasa is there, the spiritual pleasure is there, you are very easily detached from material nature. Right? So this is what we need. The bhakti rasa is very important. When we feel our spiritual life going down, what is lacking is this bhakti rasa. We are not hearing enough. We are not getting taste. If you're not getting taste, many devotees say, no, when I first joined the temple, I'm very enthusiastic. Now I lost my enthusiasm. Why? Because you are not supplementing, you're not watering the plant with Krishna Katha. Right? If without the hearing, then how your service also can be done? Cannot be done properly also. So the rasa is very important. When people say, how to control the mind, should I do this? You just get rasa. Your mind is after sense pleasure, but you're giving the mind a higher pleasure. The mind will say, my dear sir, I'm satisfied. I don't want your sense pleasure now. No, thank you. Right? So this is how you will become in the platform of Dhira. Okay, so I think that's all I like to cover today.
Is actually a moral ethical. The same verse, consumed, you are consumed by this person. That is, if you see Bhagavatam verse, it is different. Because this kind of Sahani comes, no, not in terms of one moment also is lost.
Yeah.
Every day, lost.
Yes.
So this is very much connecting to that it is not there. But here it is not showing that.
Yeah.
You are consumed for what?
Yes. So that's why he is the Dhira of the second class, because they are also Gyanis, right? So he belongs to that class. So the highest one is the devotee, the Dhira who is the devotee. That is the highest. So let me see if there are any questions.
Verse 327, 26.
Okay, no questions. एवं विदित तत्त्वस्य प्रकृतिर्मयि मानसं युञ्जातो नापकुरुत आत्मरामस्य कर्हिचित्. The influence of material nature cannot harm the enlightened soul, even though he engages in material activities, because he knows the truth of the Absolute, and his mind is fixed on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah, it's nice verse. So Maya cannot touch even the pure devotees. Two 620. Yasmat andam virajnane bhutendriya gunatmaka taddravyam Adyaghat Vishwam Gobir Surya Ivatapan. From the personality of Godhead are generated all universal globes and the universal form with all material elements, qualities, and senses. Yet he is aloof from such material manifestation, just as sun is separate from its rays and heat. Okay, nice verse. So, is it-
Gopis also, when Gopis had to go to Durvasa, so they had to cross the Yamuna river, so they asked Krishna, who's how to cross. So Krishna said, you tell them that Krishna is Brahmachari.
okay.
Somehow that.
Is there in Bhagavatam or another book? In another book,
Prabhupada
you
has
have
given this
the.
reference. Prabhupada has given.
Must be there, but yeah, it's not in the Bhagavatam. I think this, but
Even
okay.
it is the lotion of the great heart, great eyes.
Yeah. Yes.
Of course, I will say actually Lord is not anger even on the last time.
Lord is what?
Never anger.
Never angry.
Never manifest.
But there was one incident when Lord Kṛṣṇa became angry when Lord said, like, Prabhupada was explaining about that one that he becomes angry at them, but it's for the
Yeah. Like Narada Muni also got angry because the Nalokovara Manigriva, but it is for the ultimate benefit. Lord Narasimha, yeah. Sankarshan, at the end of creation. So, okay, we'll stop here then. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Gaur Prema.